Drawn to Life is a cute little game for kids where you get to draw your own hero and watch them come to life in a charming, colorful world. But it's all a lie! Sorry, we're not there yet. Drawn to Life is an adorable game where you guide the Raposa, a race of fox-like creatures, on a quest to restore color to their village and defeat the evil Wilfrey. But this happy-looking game harbors a very dark and tragic secret, which we'll cover in this video. If you don't know about this game, boy, are you in for a ride. Are you ready for this trip? Let's go. Alrighty, let's start with the first game, Drawn to Life. In this game, we've got these adorable little fox-like creatures called the Raposa, who were all drawn by some mysterious entity known as the Creator. But the Creator seems to have just up and abandoned the Raposa, leaving them to fend for themselves. Enter Mari, a plucky little Raposa who's not about to let her village go down without a fight. She cries out to the player, begging them to take on the role of the Creator and help save her home. Along the way, we meet her BFF Joey and her dear old dad, the Mayor. These three are the only ones left in the village, and things are looking pretty bleak. But fear not, because the player gets to design their very own hero to help out. Well, not everything is sunshine and rainbows, because we soon run into Wilfrey, a Raposa who's gone over to the dark side. This guy has been messing around with creation powers and has spawned a whole army of nasty shadow creatures. Not cool. The Mayor tasks the player with tracking down the missing pages of the Book of Life, which Wilfrey tore out in his quest for power. Apparently, if the pages are returned, the Creator can redraw all the missing bits of the village. As the hero embarks on this epic adventure, they start by designing the Eternal Flame, which is then used to clear away the darkness that's been creeping over the village. Along the way, they rescue a bunch of villagers who decide to come back home and set up shop. It's a big old family reunion. Meanwhile, Mari's been training to take over as mayor, and the village decides to throw a festival to celebrate. But Joey, being the adventurous scamp he is, sneaks off into a level and gets himself into trouble. The hero has to save him and help find the perfect gift for Marie. But Wilfrey, being the sneaky little devil he is, tricks the mayor into meeting him alone and attacks the poor guy, stealing the Book of Life in the process. Everyone tries to help, but even Dr. Cure can't do anything for the mayor, and he dies. But the Raposa aren't about to let Wilfrey win. They band together and send the hero off to defeat him once and for all. In an epic showdown, the hero triumphs and returns to the village victorious. Joey, feeling the call of adventure, decides to head off on a treasure hunt. Mari's left feeling a bit down, having lost her dad and best friend. But wait, in a shocking twist, Mari spots Joey walking up behind her on the beach. She runs to him overjoyed as the spirit of the mayor and the hero watch over them from the cliffs above. It's a heartwarming ending to a roller coaster of a story. Now let's talk about the game that matters most for purposes of this video. Drawn to Life, the next chapter. In this sequel, things take a bit of a surreal turn right from the get-go. The game kicks off with a mysterious sequence where an unknown party starts asking the player about that day. But before we can get too deep into that mystery, we're introduced to Heather. She's important for our purposes, so remember her. Heather is a Raposa with half of her face covered in darkness. Also worth introducing is Mike, a relatively minor character who, interestingly enough, is a human, not a Raposa. He's literally the only human in the game. Also, keep him in mind. Anyways, back to the story. Heather's having a nightmare and wakes up clutching a snazzy red jewel pendant. But things go from bad to worse when Heather gets snatched up by some creepy darkness that oozes out of a scepter she found in a beach treasure chest. The next morning, the other Raposa realize Heather's gone AWOL and start a search party. But that dastardly Wilfrey shows up again and ruins everything, making most of the villagers vanish into thin air. He reveals that he's the one who kidnapped Heather, and just to add insult to injury, he drains all the color from the village. The remaining Raposa hightail it out of there and take refuge on the back of a giant turtle that the creator sends to help them out. With their numbers dwindling and their home in shambles, the Raposa set out to find their missing friends and take down Wilfrey once and for all. And of course, they've got the creator's trusty hero of creation, the player, by their side. The intrepid group travels to all sorts of wacky places like Watersong, Lava Steam, the Galactic Jungle, and even Wilfrey's own wasteland. But just when it seems like they might have a chance, Wilfrey pulls a fast one and actually kills the hero. He starts sapping all the color from the hero, seemingly destroying them for good. But wait, the villagers from all the different areas start praying for the hero to come back, and lo and behold, it works. The hero's back in action, ready to take on Wilfrey and his latest creation. In an epic final battle, the hero triumphs and Wilfrey vanishes, leaving behind a now darkness-free Heather. With Heather safe and sound, Mari tells the creator to put out the eternal flame. Suddenly, all the Raposa disappear, except for Mike, the non-Raposa. The screen fades to white, and we're back to that description of that night from the beginning. Now on to why we are here. Brace yourself, because here's where things get heavy. During the credits, we see a series of photos that reveal the tragic backstory, and they are not what you would expect. Heather, Mike, and their parents were on their way home from a carnival when they got into a terrible car crash. Heather makes it out with minor injuries, but poor Mike ends up in a coma. Heather prays desperately for her little brother to wake up. In the final image, we see two dolls that look strikingly like Murray and Joey. So, nothing is real. The entire world of the Raposa and the events that transpired were all part of Mike's dream while he was in a coma. In reality, Mike and his family had been in a devastating car crash. Tragically, Mike's parents died in the accident, while his sister Heather survived with facial disfigurements, explaining why half of her face is covered in darkness. Throughout the game, Wilfrey, the antagonist, had been either keeping Mike trapped in the coma or attempting to end his life, allowing the Raposa to continue existing within Mike's subconscious. By restoring color to the world and defeating Wilfrey, the player revives Mike and simultaneously ends the dream, as Mike is literally drawn to life. This ending explains various aspects of the game, such as the opening sequence where Heather is questioned about the events of that night, which is now understood to be a police officer interviewing her about the car crash. This revelation is particularly heavy and unexpected for a game for kids. It's just such an odd ending. Mike, despite his pivotal role in the ending, is just a minor character with little to no involvement in the main story. Also, there isn't really any meaningful interaction between Heather and Mike, so it doesn't feel like there is any real-life connection. Because of the brutality of the car crash and the death of Mike's parents, there was a lot of shock and criticism of this ending in a game marketed towards children. Without a clear thematic purpose or intention behind the tragic twist, many argued that the ending felt like a shock tactic rather than a meaningful narrative decision. Under this pressure, an alternate ending was released, depicting Mike falling from a tree and being woken up by Heather. However, this version is generally considered non-canonical and a less satisfying conclusion to the story, since it was not designed by the original developers. And there you have it. The disturbingly dark twist ending of Drawn to Life. What started as a cute and colorful adventure turned out to be the dream of a comatose boy coping with the loss of his parents in a tragic car accident. Heavy stuff. If you enjoyed this series, give the video a thumbs up so I know to keep making more. Subscribe if you loved it. And let me know in the comments what other happy-looking games you know that are actually dark. Thank you for joining me on this wild ride today, and see you on the next one. Bye!